Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. We're going to take the December look at Flesh and Blood box sales data off of TCG Player. So first up, I have Welcome to Wraith Unlimited, Arcane Rising Unlimited, and Crucible of War Unlimited up on the graphs with the horizontal axis set to 2 months worth of data. The interesting thing is you see that even after Black Friday, prices have been pretty stable, plus or minus $5 to $10 for any given box here on these three. And if we look at the month over month table, here we'll have November box sales, so the total number of boxes sold in November. And remember, that includes Black Friday, which pulled a lot of sales forward and increased the total sales by a pretty good amount over what had been sold in October. Then we have December box sales, the month over month percentage difference between them. November average sales box price, the same for December, and the month over month percent difference between them, and then multiply those two together, the number of boxes times the average sales price, and we get the revenue number. So the interesting thing to me is coming off of Black Friday and going into December, at least Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising did not see significant drops in box sales numbers. I was surprised by that. I would have expected we would have seen that Black Friday pulled forward a lot of demand and it would have dropped off in December because of that. But we saw that November was higher than October by a good amount because of those Black Friday sales. But then it really didn't give up that sales rate very much on Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising. Now, Crucible of War Unlimited, 31% fewer boxes sold in December than November. Yeah, that's about what I expected for most of the boxes. So we'll move on to Monarch First Edition, Tales First Edition, and Everfest First Edition. So we see the yellow line of Everfest fell a decent amount over the last 2 months from, we'll call that about 57 down to about 47. So nearly a 20% drop in price in the last 2 months. The red line of Tales of Aria First Edition, fairly flat, maybe up $1 and another insignificant amount. And the blue line of Monarch First Edition in the last 2 months looks like it's dropped about $4. If we go to the tables, we'll see these are the kind of numbers I would have expected from the first three. So here they are in the next three sets, First Edition boxes. So Monarch First Edition sales fell by half. Tales of Aria First Edition sales fell by 60% in the month over month, and Everfest by 44%. Prices were relatively flat. I'm not that impressed by Tales of Aria First Edition boxes going up by 10% because they only started at $56. So going up to 61 really doesn't change the market much, and it really won't change people's their decisions on buying. Let's say that. We'll take a quick look at Monarch Unlimited and Tales Unlimited. Of course, these have fallen in price from, we'll call that low 50s down into mid 40s. So $5-6 price drops, and we'll just humor ourselves with the month over month table. But remember, in November, these really did not sell very well, and the reason being, of course, for only a few bucks more, you can get the first edition boxes that have the original limited edition cold foils. So there's not much reason for buyers to buy these unlimited boxes when the prices are so close. In fact, the Tales of Aria boxes, they were within $5-6 between the unlimited and the first edition. For Monarch, it was about $25 or $30 difference, but still, for most people interested in those cold foils, that's apparently worth it to pay to get the original limited edition cold foils instead of the rainbow foils. We'll take a quick look here at History Pack Volume 1. Prices very flat for 2 months. It took a round trip. We'll take the month over month table, and we see, man, 72% drop in number of boxes sold. This is what, about a 18-20 month old product at this point, and of course it's reprints of the first three sets. So again, this is the kind of drop in box sales I expected to see coming from November to December as a result of the Black Friday sale having pulled forward the demand. Box price changed by positive 5% month over month. Getting into the more recent boxes here, we'll take Dynasty, Uprising, and Outsiders. Fairly flat, looks like a drop of $4-6 on the blue and yellow lines of Uprising and Outsiders. As far as box sales numbers, again, these are the kind of drops I was expecting, and going from triple digits, low triple digits on Dynasty and Outsiders into mid to high double digits. Of course, the box prices themselves, fairly stable. And our final two, Dusk Till Dawn and Bright Lights. We see the box prices. Now the vertical scale here is, well, it's not terribly big. The blips are $5. So we see the red line of Bright Lights fell about $6, $7, and the blue line of Dusk Till Dawn was fairly flat over the 2-month horizontal period we have on the graph. Going into the month-over-month table, down 20% on Dusk Till Dawn box sales and 52% on Bright Lights. And of course, Bright Lights being the most recently released set, we kind of expect people will get their fill of it and start moving on. So you'll see huge amounts of product being sold early on, and then it falls off over the next several months. Now I'm going to take Outsiders, Dusk Till Dawn, Bright Lights, do days since release 100, and I'll plot that just so we can take a look at the cumulative spend down here in the bottom left. The yellow line of Bright Lights not really making any progress on catching up with the blue or red lines of the previous two sets. So you can see the total amount of money that buyers were willing to part with on TCG Player for Bright Lights just still does not impress. So let me know what you think, guys. As far as the early boxes, I still think the first 3 sets Unlimited boxes are severely underpriced. Welcome to Wraith Unlimited went out of print over 2 years ago now. Arcane Rising went out of print before that, and Crucible of War before that. Crucible of War Unlimited was the first Unlimited product that Legend Story Studios ever put out of print, and has now been out of print about 29 months. And so I think these boxes are incredibly underpriced for how the game has grown just since then, and how it will continue to grow in the future. As far as the next 3, Monarch, Tales of Aria, and Everfest First Edition, I also think those are underappreciated because, again, after that, the limited edition cold foils were no longer a thing. When we transitioned to Fab 2.0, cold foils were now potentially unlimited printing. So I think that's something special in those early first edition boxes. I continue to add to them. I added more in December, as I showed on my What Did I Buy in December video a few days ago. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.